welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host this week, Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. We are going to be discussing Season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC. This is a very spoiler-heavy conversation because we're two giant dorks. We're going to kind of give our thoughts on the new season that just ended and I guess maybe do a little guesswork for next season, maybe?
Yeah. Next season, which doesn't premiere until summer of 2019.
Okay. There you go. All right. So, all in all, again, if you have not watched the season, go watch the season. It should be available on Hulu, I think, in its entirety. If not now, very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Tiara, what are your thoughts on season 5?
I loved it. It's not my favorite. I think last season and probably season 2 are still my favorites. But I really like the character development this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the sort of transition away from Coulson as like, you know, the mainstay of the series.
Right.
And I'm really happy that we got some progress between him and May. I've been shipping that since like episode 1, season 1.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, because I've been waiting. I was like, come on, like the George Clooney gift.
Yeah. No.
I'm like, about time.
Yeah.
And I really liked Fitz this season.
He was great.
I really liked him.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like Gemma for some reason, but I liked her as well.
How dare you?
I think the one character.
She's really, really attractive to me.
Yeah, she is.
She
I
is.
met her in person. She's super nice.
Yeah.
And you know, Yoyo is probably like one of my favorite characters this season.
I would agree.
Even though she kind of got on my nerve towards the end, but I was like, but she's kind of right because her future self told her that this is how it happened.
I mean, Yoyo probably has some of the best character development across seasons because she came in season 3, I think.
Yeah.
And she was such a one-note character in season 3. It was like, oh, that's a cool power she has and everything else. And then having the development with Mac, their relationship, and then really not just being the Spanish woman with broken English who's dating Mac, but like her getting her own agency, which I thought was kind of dope.
I was about to say that like they developed her outside of Mac and even were willing to put her relationship with Mac at risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like, and I don't know how that relationship is going to last if into next season, but I think there are valid points for both of them. But I think it just shows that Yoyo, like you said, has her own agency and can be her own like standalone character. I didn't watch her miniseries though, so I may go back and watch it.
You should. It's not super complex or anything, but it's fun.
Okay,
it's fun. Okay, so last season, the season 4 was broken into 4 parts, I believe. And this one's only broken into 3.
Season 3 started with Ghost Rider.
Or season 4, even.
Oh. Yeah, season 4 was Ghost Rider, and then it went into, what? LMD, and then the next...
Agents of Hydra.
And then the Framework.
And then the Framework.
Yeah,
right?
so it was also
or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so they also...
Oh, it was only 3, okay.
Yeah.
So this one is split between sort of the future space narrative, the Hydra / Destroyer of Worlds narrative, and then the Graviton narrative. So I thought this season overall, I would say, is not as good as season 4.
Right.
Season 4 was really great, but I think it's mostly because Ghost Rider was such a cool addition to the show.
Yeah.
Like I really dug that. I think everybody was just like, whoa, and they did him really well.
And I like the Framework was also, the Framework and LMD storylines were pretty good too.
Yeah. So this one, I thought the second section, the Destroyer of the Worlds, Hydra sort of thing, that was my least favorite of the 3 sections.
Okay.
Right?
With the daughter, General Hale's daughter, and stuff.
Yeah. She also kind of looked like a blow up doll, which was weird to me. Like she just bothered me. Was it the eyes and the lips? Yeah, okay. It was. She looked like one of those like little anime dolls. Like she was like kind of freaking me out. And I didn't think she was that great of an actress.
Okay.
But I did think she got better as time went on. But like when she first showed up, I was like, how many episodes is she going to be?
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, so I guess, is she the Destroyer of the Worlds? And I was like, Okay. I mean, I thought she was kind of badass in her fighting scenes, but
yeah, that I will give you. Yeah. So again, I didn't love this season nearly as much as I did season 4. Mm-hmm. Season 4 felt like really a tightly written season. Mm-hmm. This one was a little shaky there in the middle, but all in all, this 3-part splitting that they're doing is the way to do this show.
Yeah,
like, it is clear that this is the best way to do it.
Other TV shows that have 22 episodes where they kind of play with time travel, but they do it really shitty, even though, the one guy is a speedster who, has gone back in time, but... Okay.
I couldn't possibly guess what show that is.
The trash.
But I would argue that is a thing that all of those shows could learn.
Yeah, but also...
It's just too much to try to do one overarching arc without some level of split up. You can tell one story, but you got to split up a little bit.
But I also think that it probably goes into the planning process of what they have planned for the season. And I don't know how many 20 plus episode shows plan out an entire arc through the season and know where they're going to end up.
Right. That's true.
Whereas with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if the last couple of seasons feel like they said, they knew that, okay, we're going to start with Ghostfire, they're going to go with the LMD and then go into the framework, and then we know we're going to have them end up in space. And then, everything else, and regardless of whatever happened in what's that movie that just came out? Infinity War.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, because a lot of times you'll see shows, before we get back into the show, but a lot of times you'll see shows where they take a mid-season break and then they're filming. Yeah. They're actually still filming because they're still writing, which is wild to me. I'm like,
they can still be filming, but you can tell that there's that they're figuring stuff out on the go. Whereas with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even with this season, which I said I didn't like as much as last season, but I didn't get the sense that, that they took December through January and was like, we're going to end up with General Talbot becoming Graviton or whatever.
Yeah, that was clearly written from the jump.
Yeah, it feels like they knew, okay, we want to end up in this particular space.
Right. So, the season starts off right where season 4 ended, which was Coulson and the team all in
Fitz.
Space.
Yeah.
Right? Except for Spitz.
Yeah.
They're all in space. And what you find out at the end of the very first episode, which was a dope reveal, is that they're not only are they in space, but they're in the future 80 years.
Yeah.
Which was like, wait, what?
And the world is gone.
Yeah, it's cracked in half and just...
And there's this much humanity left.
Right. So I thought that was a pretty bold reveal.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, okay. That I thought was pretty dope. And then it was just kind of this weird survival on a little colony with those characters. And then they meet Deke, who looked like Great Value Star-Lord with his costume, with his little helmet on. He did.
Deke was so silly.
He was, but I wasn't a huge fan of that character in the beginning. I really grew to like him by the end of the season.
I was kind of sad when he blinked out of existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I hope
I have a feeling
that he comes back next season.
Yeah, I have a feeling they figure out a way
to help them find Fitz.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some situation where Deke comes back and somehow he stays around.
Are we going to reveal who Deke is?
We will. We'll get there. We'll get there. So this whole thing, did you like the whole Cassius thing where Cassius is this blue Kree, he's an elite Kree or what have you, and he's buys Inhumans for his to sell, and they had some fighting scenes and things like that. Did you like this villain?
It was okay. He was alright.
I thought he was a little over the top.
Yeah, I mean, first I have to do this.
Okay, I know where this is going, but go ahead. I'm going to take a sip of my water.
But the actor who plays Cassius, though, I mean,
go ahead.
They could have kept the makeup off of him, but I knew he was supposed to be a Kree, so it's okay. But the actor.
What you're saying is he's very handsome.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude. Yeah, I looked him up. I was like, what does this weirdo look like? And I was like, oh. All right.
When I saw it, I was like, oh. Okay, well, maybe I don't, maybe this character can stick around for a little while.
Maybe I don't hate his guts as much as I thought I did.
But he was okay. I mean, I thought he stuck around for, maybe
a little too long.
Yeah. But in fact, that first part of the season seems like so long ago. So, yeah. I mean, he was okay.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. I thought they were trying to go for this, over the top, almost like a Star Trek villain, from the original series, like almost like a mustache twirling villain. Like, yes, I will collect all the Inhumans. Like that's what he kind of felt like.
An Inhuman Fight Club or whatever. Even
an Inhuman Fight Club. That's basically true.
But I thought what he was doing with Gemma was pretty interesting. How like she was basically his servant.
Yeah,
and she couldn't. And what did they do? They couldn't hear anything.
She couldn't hear anything unless someone.
Right.
Unless Cassius said her name and then like turned her little thing off. Which was pretty weird, and like imagining myself in that situation, I would go crazy.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I think because they were selling them to, I forgot who they sold them to. Were they selling them to the Confederation or whatever?
They're like to highest bidders, basically. Like,
okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I need to like see those episodes again. But.
Right, I agree. The one thing from this part of the arc that there's a couple moments that are really a big deal. Which one is that you find out that Fitz is in present day, and he figures out a way to get to the future, which was super cool, right?
Fitz's arc this season, especially in the first arc, I just love the way, they broke this character. Because I know you didn't watch season 1, but
I did. I did. I quit and then I came back and watched a few of those episodes and then
But Fitz was
forward.
So different in the
he's super different.
But in this season, he just, especially that arc, he was like, I'm gonna find Gemma. I don't
love you, girl. I'm coming to the future.
Yeah, and I was like, Fitz, you kind of. You may be a little high now.
But you know what they've done with him, which I think is kind of cool. They've given him confidence over time, and his confidence is almost exactly coming from his love for Gemma.
Right, and in some ways, that confidence got him into hot water.
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit is especially with Daisy.
Yeah.
But I think that was sort of like a necessary thing for them to do with that character, and it kind of, we'll probably get to that later, but. Like kind of what he does to Daisy later. I didn't hate him for it, even though I understood why Daisy did it.
Right, exactly. And it's
he was right.
Yeah, he absolutely was right. But what's going to be interesting is what's their relationship going to be like after the fact, after he comes back? Because spoiler alert, he's going to come back, right?
Yeah,
obviously. But he was proven right in that.
Yeah, and also like I got the sense that their relationship towards the end of the season was kind of healing anyway, that like Daisy was just like, all right, okay, like I hate you for how you did it, but
I get it.
Yeah.
Look, she should be very happy that she had her powers back at that last moment.
Hell yes. Otherwise Black Panther would never come back.
That's correct.
And it would prove that one article correct or whatever. Same thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're all dead for real, guys.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So I like that. I did like when Fitz finally shows up and they gave him that hero moment where he comes in, he's got like the little rocket pack or something.
He takes Gemma.
He grabs Gemma and lands or whatever. I was like, all right, that scene was kind of dope. Like that was cool. So then we cut to the second arc, which is this Hydra Destroyer of Worlds arc where we meet, General Hill.
Yeah.
And she is a secret Hydra agent. For life, and her daughter, who she's preparing to be the destroyer of worlds.
And they had and her daughter is like the product of Hell and somewhat alien thing. Because they did the whole flashback episode with a young General Hell, and we saw a young Jasper Sitwell.
Right.
And that actor who played young Jasper Sitwell looked exactly like
that was really good. I was like, damn, that's some good casting.
And like Von Strucker and Daniel Whitehall. So I thought that was pretty interesting because it kind of gives you a deeper insight into how Hydra really was. It kind of feels like a normal. It felt like a normal high school and normal routine, except for the whole like Nazi, kind of like the way we're heading now.
Weird, strange.
But crap, I lost my train of thought.
Well, okay, so one of the things that with all the Whitehall stuff and General Hill and everything else, what it did make me do is really want to go back and watch Agent Carter, because I didn't finish that. Like I only watched maybe a couple episodes and I was like, but there's a lot of crossover with those characters on that show too. I didn't realize. So I thought that was kind of dope.
It makes me really upset that they canceled the show, because that show had played into seasons 3 definitely season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the whole book and stuff like that.
Oh, the Darkhold.
Yeah. So
there you go. Look, people are like, oh, it's not all connected. No, it actually kind of is. It actually kind of super is.
And I know like there's some people who feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't as connected with the rest of the MCU as it used to be. And that I'm okay with that because I think the show stands well on its own and they don't need the anchor of like Captain America and everything. But I was really interested in trying to figure out how were they going to tie in Infinity War. And they did the storyline, and they did, and I think a lot of us we were hoping that someone would fade away at the end, but maybe it was probably scheduling and something like that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: they shoot those shows way before. Mm-hmm. They shoot those shows like either way before or way after the actual movies finish filming, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. definitely finished filming after Infinity War.
I saw some people who were not happy with the so-called happy ending of this season because they wanted someone to fade away, and I'm like, okay, but I don't think it's necessary.
And the funny thing is, I don't necessarily see it as a happy ending, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that. So, then, the Destroyer of Worlds Hydra arc. This is my least favorite. Again, I didn't really care for the girl who played the Destroyer of Worlds.
What'd you think about General Hale?
I liked her. She was cool. Mm-hmm. I liked seeing the Absorbing Man come back. I thought that was kind of dope. That dude is fucking shredded. Mm-hmm. Like he is. All right, calm down.
I mean, I don't. His face is. It's okay. It's interesting, but
it's interesting. Damn.
What?
But that dude, like, I'm like, yo, what is your regiment? Like, this guy always looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I've always liked that character. I thought he was really cool and really well done. I always think the CGI for him looks pretty good for television. But it gave a nice, I wouldn't say a palate cleanser, but it slowed the show down a bit. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't think it was great, it did like the arc of the future space travel and aliens, and there's like Kree running around on this ship, and they're huge, and they got swords and shit. Like you had all of that. You're like, whoa, time travel is crazy, and it was like, okay, let's calm down. And then that eased you down for what then ramped up super high in the third.
And also like kind of like going back to the first arc. That was the plan. And with this second arc, there's Yoyo, like future Yoyo, who didn't have any arms or any legs, and the one thing
just no arms. She just got her arms cut off, right?
Future Yoyo?
Yeah. I'm sorry, you're right.
Future Yoyo didn't have any of her limbs, and she told our Yoyo, you need to let Coulson die. And that's a big part of the transition from the first arc into the second arc, and definitely what leads into the third arc. So, especially with the whole like Daisy storyline and how that kind of ties into what Yoyo was talking about and their little conflict as well, and what was going on with Coulson, because we finally figure out what deal did Coulson make with Ghost Rider at the end of last season.
Right.
And we found out it was in order to save the team, he burnt away, what was it, that alien, that Tahiti alien thing that was keeping him alive. So he's been dying this entire time.
Right.
And Yoyo was like, man, look, and to save the planet, you gotta let Coulson die.
Yeah, that was a really ominous way to end that second arc.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, that was the end of the first arc. Right. Yeah. And it was just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? I mean, does anyone really think that Coulson's not gonna be the main character on this show? Like, to me, I think that's crazy. I don't think he's.
I don't know. I've read Clark Gregg's interview afterwards, and he was like, well, we don't know, but I think
Clark Gregg is a liar. He's a liar. I love you, Clark Gregg, but you're a goddamn liar.
I don't want Coulson to go anywhere, because when are we going to find out that the Avengers find out that Coulson's been alive this entire time? Probably never.
Avengers 4.
Sure. I have no hope. But
I do, and I know that's silly, but I have this dream, like this dream moment, like in Infinity War. Spoiler alert: Infinity War's been out for a number of weeks. It's made $2 billion. Go see it, okay? That moment where Thor shows up in Wakanda, I was like, everyone was going crazy, whatever. There's a part of me that I figured it was Thor because I could see the Bifrost or whatever. But there's a part of me that needs a similar moment. I was hoping for a similar moment with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters. Like, Ghost Rider opens a portal and they come walking through for help. I think that would be awesome.
So at the...
I will lose it in the theater if that happens.
So at the end of Infinity War, when at the end credits with Maria Hill and Nick Fury.
Yeah.
I stood up out of my seat because I was like, oh my God, he's calling Coulson. He was calling Coulson. I was like, I'm gonna lose my shit. And I had popcorn in my hand. I had people in front of me, and I was like, oh, I don't want to spill popcorn or anything. But I was thinking like, what if it's Coulson that they're calling? Because of course he's going to be in Captain Marvel, and we need Captain Marvel. But we also need Coulson because he's been dead, and maybe this is Coulson's way of coming back into the world. But it wasn't Coulson, so I was like, oh, okay. And that was my hopes and dreams right there.
Dashed.
I was like, okay.
But that stinger was dope.
Like, it was, and I guess none of the Avengers going to acknowledge that this woman named Quake, is causing all this destruction. But okay.
Yeah, cool. Like, hey, this is destroy a world shit going on. Yo, there's aliens coming. We don't have time to talk about this. But I do understand the idea of not being pleased with it, not being as connected, right? But there is also a timing thing.
Yeah.
Also, Kevin Feige and Ike Perlmutter hate each other. So
really?
Yeah, they kind of don't jive. Please just get rid of Ike Perlmutter, please, and just put one of Kevin Feige's flunkies in there and tie everything together. I would love that.
We did see some callbacks to the earlier seasons with that serum thing. That
the centipede.
Yeah, was that also part of Iron Man 3?
No, I don't. Okay. Well, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Don't hold me to that.
But we saw some of that to try to keep Coulson alive, and Yoyo wasn't with it until her and Daisy fought, and that fight was awesome. Yeah,
it was good. I was gonna say Yoyo has a lot of conflicts, and she does. She has conflicts with Daisy and conflicts with Mac, but Quake has more conflicts. She has conflicts with everybody.
Everybody. And that's because she's dealing with stress because Coulson is dying, and they're trying.
Her dad. Ostensibly, that's her dad.
Yeah, and May's like her mom.
Yeah,
and so I can understand why she was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, she was kind of a shitty leader.
Yeah, and maybe under different circumstances, and that's probably why Clark Gregg may come back, because maybe they don't feel like the Daisy character is ready yet, which is why she gave that mantle to
Mac. Look, I kind of like Mac as head of S.H.I.E.L.D. I kind of love it. Me too. I kind of love it.
She doesn't say that because he's black.
Yeah, well, I do love that fact. That's true. But I like it because the reason that they said, which is he's the heart of that team. He really is. Yep. Right?
Because he was not for Yoyo cutting that girl's throat.
Nah, that was like mad violence.
But she had it coming.
Oh, super had it coming.
I mean, she cut off Yoyo's arms. And also that scene where she cut off her arms, like, I was like, yo. I was like, I mean, no pun intended. I was like, yo, she cut off Yoyo's arms. And like, but the way it happened, it was in slow motion. Yeah. And I knew something had happened. But when it focused on Yoyo, I was like, oh my God.
I thought she had killed her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought it was the future coming alive, and it kind of was.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, damn. And for a split second, I was thinking like, what if they just ended the season with the world being destroyed anyway? What happened?
Oops. Yeah, it turns out they didn't win.
Yeah.
Oh. All of this was for naught.
And maybe that would have been okay, because they wrote the finale like a series finale anyway, because they didn't know they would get picked up.
Yeah. I think you'd be crazy to cancel the show. It is on a tear now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the third act, which is the General Talbot Graviton part of the season. So what happens is General Talbot has been held by Hydra. He's brainwashed by Hydra, and he basically realizes, like, it's kind of funny. They did this thing that I thought was kind of fucked up. It's like he's all super brainwashed. He's like, oh, he's like crazy, and all of a sudden, like, he just like slowly just becomes fine.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
was he though? Because I never got the sense that Talbot completely came back. I never got that sense. For me,
I guess that's true. But it was like he was like super crazy.
He was really insane. But even when he kind of normalized a little bit, you can just tell that there was some screws that just weren't there.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can tell like that Hydra really fucked with his mind.
Yeah.
Especially whenever they say, like, ready to comply or something like
that.
Yeah,
you're right. I was hoping that they were going to do something like like the same call stuff that they did for Bucky. That would have been kind of dope. Yeah, see, that would have been actually kind of cool. It was like,
that would have been a nice little like subtle tie-in.
Yeah, yeah, and only people who really super pay attention in the movies would have been like, I see what you did.
Yeah,
I get it. Like that would have actually been kind of cool.
Yeah.
But they had. So then Talbot decides he sees the Shore of Worlds girl. They try to give her some power. She can't really handle it. And Talbot, who's like kind of crazy, is like, look, I'm gonna save the world from, because they mentioned this Thanos character, and he's like, well, I'm gonna save the world from Thanos.
Oh,
fuck that noise.
We forgot the part about why S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra teamed up in the first place.
Yeah, good.
And that's because Hydra made this deal with this alien group called I think it's the Confederacy. And you'll see like this black actor who's been in like everything. I don't know his name, but
great value Lawrence Riddick. Like,
yes.
Yeah, he kind of does. I thought it was Lawrence Riddick at first.
I like when I saw him, I knew he was an alien, but I was like, I know that black dude. He's in the shadows. I know him from anywhere.
Like he wasn't even wearing makeup. He was just a black dude in a robe. They were like, you look like an alien, but he kind of does.
He is like great value Lance Riddick.
He is.
Okay.
That's fine.
So Hydra made a deal with the Confederacy to protect the Earth against Thanos. So, but when Coulson gets up there, they found out that whole deal was actually kind of a lie, and that they've been stealing the Earth's resources, and that they actually knew they can't really fuck with Thanos. So they were like, well,
sorry?
Like, Thanos is already attacking Earth, so...
Yeah. What had happened was this deal ain't really that good.
Right. And that, and that's their little like Infinity War tie-in that Thanos is,
coming.
Yeah, coming, and that kind of gives you a time frame as to when this show was taking place during Infinity War. So I would probably say because they also had another throw out line with Daisy saying like, I don't pay attention to the news. It just stresses me out, because the guy is like, hey, do you see what's happening in New York? And I'm assuming that's during like the Tony and Strange and Spider-Man fight. So that kind of tells you that this arc of the story is
right there.
Right, like it's like right before Thanos comes to Earth and starts snapping his fingers and shit like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting, right? So then what happens is Talbot is like, I'm gonna get all of this gravitonium in me, and then I'm going 100%. To say, right, because he wants to be a superhero.
And it's interesting because the other girl who had like the alien DNA, she got like maybe 5% of that, and she went insane.
Something low. Yeah,
and then she had like this weird, she couldn't control her powers, and she ended up killing the other Von Strucker kid, and almost killed Daisy, and then Yoyo cut that bitch's throat.
They're like, hey, what are you doing? She was like, I'm helping.
Yeah. And Yoyo and then Daisy was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, she was like, hey, look, you see these robot arms? Nah, fuck that. That shit got to go. And look, I like
Yoyo with her robot arms.
Yeah, she looks like a badass. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, hey, we made you new arms, and they look exactly like your human arms.
That like they did with Coulson's hand.
Yeah.
Coulson's missing a hand.
They're not trying to. They're not. I mean, she's just wearing like a Nintendo Power Glove at this point. Like, it's so obvious. It's just a cheap glove over her hands. But I'm like, whatever. Just give her real hands.
I want to. There's a special shout out to Mac, because Mac almost died trying to get Yoyo some arms. So that's real love right there.
Yeah. But then he wasn't like really trying to let her touch him. He was like,
I was like, man, just.
He was like, I can't feel nothing.
Oh, it's all in here. It's got in here.
No, you can't trust somebody to be able to. You know what? Never mind. No, you can't trust that. What if you get a malfunction? That's a wrap for him. He was thinking with his mind.
Well, I mean, she did have that one moment where she went too fast and like her arms like short circuit.
Like, oh shit! Yeah, when she moves too fast, you're in a world of trouble. Like, don't do that. Mac's like, stay over there until you get the new S.H.I.E.L.D. approved Latino blended arms, the with the Fenty color on them.
Wow,
that's fine. Yeah, he wasn't having it.
Poor Yoyo, I still love her.
She's a great character.
She was right.
No, she absolutely was right. I agree.
Daisy was wrong.
Yeah, she was. So, okay, let's talk about the big part of this. Mm-hmm. So, Talbot becomes like fully realizes graviton.
Yeah, he gets a new goatee and everything.
He gets an evil like 1980s sitcom. Like, this is the evil guy, the evil version of the hero. He
got all the sauce. Like he had you see his grays are more pronounced. Something's going on with his eyes, and then
they gave him like the look. I watch enough Project Runway with my wife. I know a couple of things. They gave him like the cat eye mascara or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, like, yo, is he like what? His eyelashes are kind of long. He slicked his hair back. I was like, wait a minute.
He was like, new powers, new me. And he went out there, which was great. But then he goes to get more gravitonium from like the core of the Earth, which is how he would have ended up cracking the Earth in half and becoming the destroyer of worlds, right? Because he wants to get more gravitonium.
Right.
To take on Thanos, which is a good story arc for him because he ultimately is still trying to be a hero, right? In this, he's not doing it to be a villain.
And they really play up that whole, like, you know, you became a hero when you decided to enroll in the Air Force and you know, America and all that stuff like that.
All that stuff like that. Wow, what a patriotic summary you just gave.
My sister's in the Army.
It's
okay.
fine.
That's fine.
Whatever.
And it made me hard to really hate him, but it wasn't until the part like where he was with his son. And he yoked up his wife. And
he fell up against the wall. He was like, bam.
I was like, yo, this is not okay. And then his son was like, I don't want to go with you anymore. You're not a good guy. And then he's just like, yo, you'll see. You see, I'm in a real spaceship. I'm just like, ooh, it's time for you to go.
Yeah, no, that's some deadbeat dad conversations right there. No, I didn't mean to beat your mom. Look, she had it coming. Yeah. I'm a hero. She never lets me see you.
I was like,
And this is what Drake says about his son. Oops. Wait, we're not supposed to talk about that?
I don't understand rap beefs. I just know that Drake has a kid.
Surprise. Take care of your kids. But then... one of the cooler scenes in the entire series, I would argue, not just in the season, is Graviton down on Earth, pulling like gravitonium out of the ground, and Daisy going and kicking the shit out of him, which was dope. That fight scene was pretty cool.
Also, so like there's a little nugget in there about how they end up changing like the future. Also, there's a little bit about May has a really interesting storyline too with the little girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can tell the future. Yeah.
But like, so they're in a predicament where they have the serum that Daisy got from her mom's bones or DNA or something like that.
Yeah.
So Gemma and Fitz, they synthesize and they say, okay, you can either use the serum to save Coulson's life, or you can use it to stop Adrian Pasdar, Graviton. And Yoyo's like...
damn, you knew his real name? Okay.
Yeah, he was on Heroes.
I know.
I love him. Peter Petrelli's brother.
Peter Petrelli's brother. See? Yeah, you didn't... what's his name?
I knew his name was Adrian Pasdar.
It was like David Petrelli? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it might have actually been.
So Yo-Yo is like, okay, so we're going to use this on Graviton, right? And Daisy's like, no, we can find another way. We can save Coulson. And Yo-Yo's like, we gotta let Coulson die, girl. So, but
I don't know if you know, but future me with no arms and legs.
Yeah.
She and, like, was mad right about a lot of things.
And Mac is dead too, so she harped on that a lot. And obviously we don't know what happened to Gemma or Fitz or anything like that, or Daisy herself.
Right.
But also, like, you know, Daisy is like, okay, we can find another way. But if you're like watching the show, the one question that you should have in your mind is, okay, let's say you do choose to stop him over saving Coulson. How are you going to, like, you know, sticking with it? Because you couldn't touch that dude. So
yeah, which was basically Yo-Yo's point. Like, how are you going to even get close to him?
Right. And Daisy found a way, and she injected the serum into herself and became a complete badass.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that. That shit was awesome.
Yes, and she basically Ebony Mawed him into space.
Yeah, she did. I forgot about the injection part. That's right. That's right.
Because he was about to absorb her because he wanted her powers, and she was like, and she was this close to being completely absorbed, and she just stuck herself.
Yeah, she was like, nah, dog.
And then her powers got the extra sauce and the extra juice, and she just like
extra sauce and juice,
and she just like shot him up.
She quaked him into space.
Yes, and then he died.
Yeah, that was a cool way to kill him.
Yeah, but also, you know, Fitz like died too.
Yeah, he died.
Or did he?
Or did he?
Yes, he did.
So, okay, but here's the thing. Does it bother you that the villain died in season 4 and season 4 and 5 the same way? Right? Because season 4, Hyde... Is it Hyde?
Hive?
Hive, thank you. Hive died in the...
Oh, you mean season 3?
Is that season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. died in the same way, right? Like being shot out into space and basically the spaceship exploding. Does that bother you? They just like, we gotta get rid of all of these bad guys in space.
Because I thought the Hive, the way that Hive died / Ward, it was a little, for me, a little bittersweet because I thought it was the end of seeing Ward, at least like, you know, in face.
Yeah.
So no, that doesn't bother me.
Okay, it doesn't bother me either. I was just curious.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
But also there's that little thing about there's so much that happened this season. I mean, Yoyo, Gemma, and Fitz all thought they couldn't die because and that pissed Mac off because Yoyo was wilding. I mean,
she was like, I can't die, dude.
But she was right. Yeah. And then we find out that Deke is the grandson of
Fitz and Gemma.
And he watched them get married, and it was really cute. And he also had a really, you know, cute crush on Daisy. But Daisy was like, bitch, I'm trying to save the world and like my dad, so I'm not really paying you any attention. And plus, I love Lincoln, and I was like, okay, girl. All right, Lincoln, sure.
Lincoln. When Lincoln died in season 3, I was so happy. I hated that character.
I don't think they had any chemistry. I was like, they should just play the whole Ward and Daisy thing because that's what we all really wanted.
Yeah.
Still did.
But then he died and then came back and then was a disgusting alien, you know, lizard monster or whatever, and then died again.
Well, because and
then came back and
I was hoping we'd see him in the 100th episode where they did like. They had like Hive come back. They had all these like it was the fear.
Oh
episode.
the fear universe.
Yes, I really liked that episode.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I could do it.
But there's like I thought this season was about pretty much the relationships that we don't really get to see in like previous seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought that one of the most interesting ones was between Daisy and Fitz. So they thought that Daisy was the one who quaked the world. Right, in the first arc.
Right.
So in the second arc, they spent their time like saying like, okay, well, Daisy, don't use your powers, and I think they implanted something in her so that way she couldn't.
Yeah, well, Cassius did.
Yeah,
and they didn't take it out.
Right. So, but Fitz has like a mental breakdown where he thinks that he's the doctor from the framework, that evil Nazi Hydra person, or a version of himself. And he thought it was like from like the fear thing, but Gemma was like, nah, it's
just in your head.
It's all you. And what the doctor / Fitz was doing was trying to get Daisy's powers back. And he did it in the most painful way. And that caused...
He put her head in a vice and just yanked it out of her neck.
Yeah.
And that shit was like long and like really gross. And it looked
really painful. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I think he even had... Did he have Gemma at like as a hostage or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Gemma and Deke or something like that. And it was a shitty way for Fitz to go about it, but at the end of the day, he was right. But that still caused a rift between Daisy and Fitz, you know, in the long run, and even kind of Gemma in a way, because Gemma was like, I get it. It wasn't really you, even though it kind of was, and we're still married, so
yeah, they did have that's true. It was like, will they, won't they, kind of stay together? Right. But she was like, nah, I gotta stand by my man. On this one.
And I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But Yoyo and Daisy, they definitely had it out.
Yeah. It will be interesting, the dynamic. Okay, well, all right. Let's talk about what happens at the end of the season, and then I want to talk about the dynamics of what could be in the next season. Mm-hmm. So, end of the season, Graviton gets defeated. He gets quaked into space, and because he can't breathe, he dies, right?
Right.
And freezes to death. Then you realize that Coulson and May are retiring from S.H.I.E.L.D, and they're being dropped off into Haiti by the rest of the team. I got the impression that she was also retiring.
I think she's just there with him to be with him until he dies. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fair. And probably rock his world a couple of times.
Yeah. I mean, at the end she was like, "So, what else is on your bucket list?" And I was like, "Oh."
he was pulling out a sheet. And he was like, "What?"
But okay. So
how long I've been waiting to do all this?
Listen, the way that they had that first kissing moment, and he just threw
that shit was dope.
And he grabbed her and kissed her, and then you just see Daisy she's like, "Oh," and then you see Deke is like.
Oh shit, son! Deke was good comedy relief for this season. Yeah, I thought he worked really well.
Daisy's expression was priceless, and in fact, she had a moment where she was like, my parents? Oh, okay. Hey. And then she's like, oh, yeah. She was like, oh, yeah, bad guys. Quake.
Yeah. Boom, yeah.
But you two, you made out with May. So how was that?
Yeah, that was actually, like, it was a cheesy moment, but I really dug it. Like, in the middle of a gunfight, he throws up the shield, protects her, and then kisses her at the same time. That was kind of dope. And they did it in slow motion, everything else. Oh, that was cool.
I was like, that's how you do it.
You're like, that's what I want to happen to me, is that a guy holds up a invisible future shield during a gun battle.
Or a real shield. Hint, hint, Chris Evans.
It's also possible. Right? Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Those shields are made of plastic. You're going to die, both of you.
Well, I'll die pretty happy.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Good luck with not getting charged with stalking. That's fine. So all that happens. They get dropped off in Tahiti, May and Coulson. Right. The rest of the team is together. Deke gets blinked out of existence because everything is okay, and the rest of the team goes off. Fitz dies, right, in the middle of being caught in some rubble during the assault on New York.
And that was pretty sad.
It was actually sad, because he's one of my favorite characters, and he has been from the jump.
Yeah, he was saving Robin and her mom. Robin was the little girl who predicted, like, everything. Right,
through the drugs. So, okay. Explain the ending for people who didn't quite understand it. I certainly was one of the people who didn't quite understand it at first.
Okay, when I read the explanation, it said that the Fitz that died was the Fitz that came back with him from the future. Okay, so we understand that, right? But the Fitz who was going to the future is still somewhere out in cryo-freeze.
Well, why are they two different Fitzes? That's the part I don't understand.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where it gets a little tricky. So, and that's still kind of like, all right. But so what they're pretty much saying is that the future didn't happen.
Oh, I see. So he's still stuck in that time.
As if he is. So he met that alien guy who sent him to the future, but that guy was like, okay, I'm putting you in cryo freeze for 80 years until you get to the future. So it's like Fitz met him and did that, but the Fitz that came back is the future Fitz, but he died. But our current Fitz,
when they broke the timeline, it splintered. So then that makes sense. That makes sense. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard. But yes, it makes sense.
So our current Fitz is just somewhere out in space in cryo freeze because the guy was like, I need to put you someplace where people won't find you. And that's where Gemma says, like, at the end, like, when we find him, he'll know that time isn't a loop. Time is something that is ever changing, which,
Right, he didn't believe.
And I mean, like, we said, before we started recording that they didn't really explain it too well.
No, not. I was like, gonna find Fitz. I'm like, he over there in a box. He's dead.
but I think, like, once you kind of understand that our Fitz is still alive and that he won't remember anything. So they say that in the show too. They say he won't remember getting married to Gemma. He's not going to remember, Talbot or what he did to Daisy or even Deke. So our Fitz is basically going to be the same Fitz who was, with Hydra for like 6 months trying to find Gemma.
Yeah. So that will be interesting how they all react to him.
Mm-hmm. And how he reacts to them, because they had this, and I think the experience they had was
Yoyo. What happened to your fucking arms?
Yeah, and it's a profound experience that they had. So how is he going to be able to fit into that dynamic? And what would Gemma say?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Before we get out of here, let's talk predictions for season 6. So the team is off on a completely new series of events. We have no idea what's going to happen.
And so it doesn't come back till summer 2019, which I think is interesting. So it makes you wonder if they're going to take this chance to sort of tie in, or wait to see what happens with Infinity War. But also, like, maybe they already know, and they're probably going to start, planning their arc soon. I don't know.
I have a feeling that, one, they kind of had to announce, like, when it's coming back, because you would assume, it's going to come back then, but it's not. I have a feeling that it's not like, if they were just going to tie it in with, like, Thanos is coming like they did in this one, they wouldn't have held, because they're cutting the season in half.
Yeah, they are.
They're cutting the season in half to tie it to this.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're doing it.
What do you think
they have to be connected in some major way.
Well, we're not going to see, I don't think we'll see any of them in Avengers 4. But
I think so.
You think we'll see at least one of them?
I think you will. I think you'll see that team in Avengers 4. Absolutely. I want to believe. But I don't think you would do. I don't think you would make that big of a change to that show. I don't think Ike Perlmutter and everyone else would make that big of a change to the show unless it is tied to that. I think it is. And I think it's going to be in a way, like if you're talking about Captain Marvel coming out where they're showing Coulson in the 90s and stuff like that, I think that when she shows up and is like kicking ass, that is a perfect time for them to bring Coulson back and be like, hey, Carol, what's up? I haven't seen you since the 90s. Like, I think that's the way you tie it.
And then if Steve is alive, Tony, if Tony is alive, they're just like, we came together because we thought that you died. So
we're out. Like, we're done with this whole Avengers thing. It was only because you got murdered.
But here's the thing. But at the end of the season, they said that Coulson only has weeks to live if he was lucky. So how do you think that they keep Fitz alive? Because he is, I mean, that hole in his heart that Loki pierced, that's still there. So how do you think?
I don't know. I think the warm embrace of May may keep him alive. Look, it would work for me.
The warm embrace of May's magic.
Yeah, look, hey, she is the cavalry. I love Ming-Na Wen. She's great. But I don't know. But I am very interested to see how they do it. But I think they're going to pull it off.
Yeah. I mean...
Look, if they tie it to Infinity War Part 2 or whatever it's going to be called, look, spoiler alert.
Don't believe
everybody is going to start watching that show again. Everyone. Because everybody is still leery because the first season wasn't good. Look,
first season was 5 years... Look, man, okay. Look,
no, it was bad. Like, it was bad.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I would say start with season 1. If you want to start with season 1, personally, I don't care.
Start with season 2.
But if you were someone who was like, well, the first season is bad. Look, we are 6. What is this?
We're damn near into the. We're almost in the 6th season. 5.
We are 5 seasons in by now. Look, you either gonna get with it or you're not. Okay, then don't be on some like, well, season 1 was really bad. Look, okay, but we got 4 other seasons. Okay, start with the second half of season 1 if you want to, but don't be up here like wishy-washy, like I don't know when to watch this shit. Then don't watch. God.
Then don't watch. But look, I do think. I mean, the show has, without a doubt, has grown tremendously.
It doesn't even feel like the same show. I mean, they even,
no, not at all.
They even remark, Gemma says we were different people back then. I'm like, yeah, the fuck you were.
Everybody
Fitz was out here wearing plaid with a tie, and then he looked really, really weird, and he had really, super curly hair. He had no beard. But then in like season 3, Fitz got a beard, and now,
I love that those are the things that you hard focus on.
Listen,
he's got a beard now. It's important.
Yes, and you can but it's about his character growth as not just as like
he's matured. He's matured significantly.
Same thing with Gemma. Gemma's still really sweet and everything like that, but she was sort of naive in the first season. Coulson was more playful. May was a mute.
She like never said anything.
And Daisy was Sky, and she had super long brown hair, and she was wearing casual clothes and was like, "Fuck S.H.I.E.L.D."
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
She's good. Her getting her powers is like such a huge part of this show. Mm-hmm. It is great. Mm-hmm. It was really great. Her becoming an actual human.
I am interested in seeing how they bring Coulson back though, because like I said, I read Clark Wright's interview right after I watched finale, and he was just like, I don't know.
I would hate for him to leave that show permanently because I think he's really good.
Yeah,
You could pull it off without him.
Yeah, I mean, because the way they wrote the finale, they said that would have served as a series finale that they hadn't gotten picked up, and I think that would have been. I would have been okay with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you said it wasn't a happy ending.
No, I didn't think so. Just because the team got broken up.
How?
Well, Coulson left. I assume May.
But they had a funeral for him. They all said their goodbyes.
Look, I didn't like when the other 2 spies left in the previous season. That parting shot episode made me sad. But then he came back in this season, which was dope.
Nick
Blood.
Hunter
and Nick Blood.
Yeah, the first arc feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. I totally forgot he came back for like a few episodes.
Like 2, I think.
But I mean, I like if they had canceled the show, obviously I would have been upset. But I would have been happy with the ending, and then I would just be like, okay, so they're on their way to go find Fitz.
Right. So look, I don't know what's going to happen in season 6. I'm very excited to see it. In the time between now and season 6, I'm going to watch Agent Carter so I can catch up on that and see all the sort of.
Still not too late to bring it back, ABC. There's a show that you canceled that you can replace Agent Carter.
Oh, damn. That's also true.
Better show.
Topical.
She's not racist.
No, she's not. She's
very pretty.
Yes. Yes, she is.
She looks really good in a blue suit and a red hat.
She looks great in everything.
Yes.
I may drool over Haley Atwell. Okay. Anyway, let's just like stare off for a second. Okay, that is it for our review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 5. I think we both really super enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not as much as season 4.
Right.
But
I would love to see Robbie again.
Yeah. I'd like. Look, he should get a series on Netflix.
Netflix? Hello?
Yeah, he should get a series on Netflix. Ghost Rider would be dope. Yeah. Because he looked really good. Like, they figured him out really well. And that guy, Robbie, who played Robbie Reyes, was very good. So, any other parting words before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Nope. So, check out, if you haven't, which would be weird if you're watching this, check out season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or if you're like, wow, that sounds like really crazy, but I bailed in season 1 and or I didn't want to check
season 1.
So start and watch through. Also, just a quick question before we get out of here. Did you watch Runaways?
No.
Okay.
Is that...
It's on Hulu.
Oh, okay. I keep on getting that mixed with the other one that's about to premiere.
Well, that's my second question.
Okay.
Are you going to watch Cloak and Dagger?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been meaning to watch Runaways, but I don't know. Is this all in the same universe?
Yeah, all of it.
Okay.
You have to watch it.
Is it? Julian Mann is in the Runaways, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm in. I love Julian Mann. He's one of the evil parents, right?
Yes.
Okay. I love Julian Mann when he plays the evil guy.
Yeah, he's
Shout out to Charmed.
Yeah,
not the reboot.
Damn. So yeah, Runaways is very good. I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I am gonna watch Cloak and Dagger because I thought it was going to look terrible.
No, it looks great.
It actually looks really good.
Oh my god! But you
it's very so Cloak and Dagger is done very similarly to how Runaways is done.
Okay,
like I'm gonna watch. Like the two of the ones on Freeform and one's on Hulu, but you could cross those two series over and it would look aesthetically the same.
I definitely want to watch it. When Cloak and Dagger comes out, you already know there are going to be a lot of think pieces about it, but
I don't care. I want to watch it.
Because one is black and one is white.
Yeah.
And then it's going
controversy.
It's going to be the same person who wrote that he's upset that Black Panther died in Infinity War, and that it's the white man who killed him off because they don't like, I guess, billion-dollar franchises with the planned sequels.
It's amazing. He's going to be really shocked come 2019.
What?
Oh my God!
Let me tell you.
They must have listened to my article that I wrote.
Let me tell you why Black Twitter got checked Kevin Feige and Marvel and brought Black Panther back. I was like, because you mean it made $1 billion and they already had sequels planned? And they signed Chadwick Boseman to a multi-movie deal. But yeah, your article did that. Congrats.
He did it all by himself.
All by yourself. Spider-Man died too, but
don't talk about that. That's irrelevant.
Okay.
It doesn't work with my narrative. So, all right, check those shows out. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out Cloak and Dagger. So, what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll do a review of Cloak and Dagger. Yeah. I think it's only 10 episodes, so probably in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
10 or 11 weeks, we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay.
All right, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye. You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.